All right, gentlemen and ladies, boys and girls, children of all ages, this video, I'll kick it out at the end of class, and this will be a refresher if you need it in terms of this activity. So step one, we have gone and created an account on Trello. And we took a little bit of theory training, and we came to understand that Trello is a tool used in project management of all kinds, and specifically also in software development and in testing development. In fact, you can even go and download pre-assembled, right? People make templates for things like Jira and other test frameworks. If you want to go and play with that, that's fine. I'll leave that to your own investigation. But it's actually pretty simple. I don't think we're going to have too much trouble getting into this here. So let's see about it. So step one, and just for the sake of the video, so you have some people like to see the instructions as well as hear them. So you're going to make a board. And it doesn't matter too much. So remember, this is for your learning activity 4, because your learning activity 5 was your participation in the forum. So learning activity 4 is Trello. To project manage, to organize, to control the software testing lifecycle for some project you're working on. Maybe it's a real project, maybe it's a hypothetical project you're imagining like I did with Pokemon. That's not important right now. The important thing, the learning outcomes, let's put them down. Software development lifecycle. So the learning outcomes here is to make you familiar with Trello. And by extension, the concept of Kanban, which is a project management methodology. As a way of creating visual mechanisms for managing your progress through your project, of having visuals, of generating or creating or producing visuals to manage the progression of any project or of the software testing lifecycle in our exact case here. So you can use it to make study cards for your studies. You can use it to organize any personal activities you're doing. And you can go back and refer to slide 34 in your PowerPoint, which gives you a detailed chart of what you're going to be implementing here. It's good studying for your test tomorrow as well. So step one, well, I guess step one was sign up for Trello.com. Step two is let's make a board. So let's do that. And then we're going to create columns or swim lanes in our board. And I estimate that this might take you 1 hour. It might take you less, but I'm going to allocate. It probably will take you about 1 hour to completely do this. Some people get really interested. They dig more into it, which is great. So then step 3 is we create columns, or what they call swim lanes. See, these are swim lanes right here. See? In this wall example right here, They're using color coding, which I guess has some meaning in the context of their project. And they have columns, they have things one over top of each other, and they have some cards there which would have designators and classifiers referring back to the steps of their schedule or their work breakdown structure. Create columns or swim lanes. Step 4, start generating cards. And just like you saw me do with the example when I was making the method sequence diagram spreadsheet, just the act of doing this by itself is valuable, because if I ask you to sit down and design your software, you might sort of look around nervously and go, gee, I don't like, how do I do that? I don't know what that means. But if I tell you to make a Trello board, that's an exact tool set, right? I'm giving you a tool chain and it has to follow a structured methodology to work. And the side effect, the consequence of following that structured methodology of using that tool is you will get your project plan popping out at the other end, right? It's like the machines you put in a toonie or something, it gives you a can of Pepsi. So it's a mechanism that generates a good design for you. It's a process which structures your thinking and corrals it into the right corridors to get you to the right direction you need to be in. So create columns or swim lanes and then start making cards. And follow along with me as I'm going along. At the very end, I'm just going to ask you to hand this in, and it's going to be your learning activity because it's going to be the starting point of your assignment here. Making cards will, and it's also your assignment is just going to be taking this and putting another couple of things on top of it. Structure. Let's use the term structure your thinking in terms of generating the output you need to generate, creating the necessary work product, they call it. It's just your code and your diagrams and your examples. Everything you do is work product. All right, so pay attention. So I'm going to name my board. I'm going to call it Peter's Software, and you can name it whatever you want, but just name it something meaningful. Development, Peter's Software Testing Project. I think that's a good name. So create structures with lists. A list is a collection of cards. It can be a set of ideas or a group of tasks or a stage in a project. You'll add cards to your list, and you can add and remove and move things around later. So it's kind of like a word processor, but it's more structured. So add titles for a few of your cards. I wonder what my title should be. Inception, method unit tests, integration, system testing, user acceptance testing. I think those would be good names. So type them in. And if you dork up or it doesn't go right, I'm not going to fail you. The only purpose of this learning activity is to get you to put your hands on and get started. So we'll say inception phase, that means design, before I've started writing code. And then I can start designing my method unit tests. Actually, it would probably make more sense to design my classes first. Well, anyway, so method tests and then integration testing. I'm going to kick out this video afterwards as well, so if you don't totally finish up by the time we're done, just get it to me as soon as you can. You can add stuff and move it around later as well. So now you could give a description of these things, right? You could write attachments and you can do different things. So here they're saying when you click on a card, they're just training you. This is just a training tutorial, by the way. You can add just about any kind of information, files, checklists, Dropbox links. Start by adding a checklist item to your Inception design card. Well, we already know what that is, right? Create our traceability matrix. Because that kind of drags a bunch of other stuff along with it. If I've done that, I may also create separate things for user requirements gathering, writing the use cases. But I'm sort of assuming if I'm a programmer or a tester, there's a business analyst who did all of that stuff, I'm assuming. By the time I come into work in the morning, I'm assuming I have a good set of use cases and UML diagrams. The information architect and the business analyst did that and they gave it to me. My job as the tester is to start with, that's where my work starts, right? The traceability matrix. So I'd say that would be a good place to start working. Now you understand the basics of board lists and cards. You can use Trello to fit your needs, whatever they are. Now you're a pro, keep building your board. So that was just like a little welcome tutorial, right? So now here, and you can change the theme, you can put background images, you can do all kinds of stuff if you want to get into that. Oh, please confirm your email. Right, so I do have to go and check my email. So if you have not yet done that, I guess they want you to. I'm just going to take a couple of seconds to do that. Hang on here. Because I made a little pretend account because I wanted to make sure everything I'm showing you can be done with the free version, because sometimes the paid version, they give you another couple little things here and there. Right, so let me go and confirm my email. Hang on. So just to move this along faster, I'm going to go to my real account and do all of my work over there. Does it give me a chance to fix my email or no? No, I guess if you put in the wrong email up front, you're just dorked. You have to go and redo it. All right. So here I'm going to go and set up a board. You can also get power integrations. I know people who are really into this. I know business people who run their entire business. I know real estate agents, they do everything out of here. You can integrate it to your Google Calendar so you can get your cards to create calendar events for you and stuff, and all sorts of workflows. So I'm going to go and say create a new board. And I'm going to give my board a name. Whoops, no team. Yeah, I think I have private and stuff. I think you probably don't have that because I pay a little bit. It's going to call it software testing lifecycle. And now I'm going to create a list name. So a list is like those swim lanes, right? Remember the picture we saw there? So I will call that inception phase. And then I have method unit test integration. Module or class integration. Externalities and user acceptance testing. So system testing and user acceptance testing. All right, so now that I have my swim lanes up there, so what would I need to do for my inception testing? This is your, and I don't want to give you too much examples because kind of this is why you're doing the thing to think about it. So I'm going to show you this, but forget everything I said after this and go and think of it by yourself. I believe in Peter's view of how the world works. I can't really do any inception testing until I have some tests, right? So I'm going to say design my initial tests, right? My initial structure creating tests. And how am I going to design tests, you might wonder. Can I zoom that in so you can see it better? Yeah. Well, this is giving you a tool. I'm building up a work breakdown structure right now. What do I need if I want initial tests? Well, I need to be given, I need to get, and we're assuming that we're programmers or testers. We're not the IT architect, we're not the business analyst. Somebody has got the requirements, somebody has done all of this. I need to receive, I can say I can read over, or I can just say receive or get. Use cases, UML diagrams, and I can review them and study them to make sure, because I might kick them back to the IT architect and say, Carl, you messed up on this, fix it up better. So I might say validate. I might make sure they're in good state. So I'll say validate, meaning I think they're okay for me to work with. Well, once I have all of that, so I have use cases and UML diagrams all over my desk, I need to design an initial test. Is the word traceability matrix screaming out loud in anybody's brain right now? That's my job, right? I'm the tester. Well, I mean, depending on the shop you're working in, the IT architect might do it. Generally, I would say as the tester, it's my job. Design the traceability matrix, because the IT architect knows the big picture of the application, and she also probably hopefully knows the customer's domain and business requirements really good. But as the quality assurance lead, I'm the one who knows what a traceability matrix looks like. I'm the one who knows how to read and construct a spreadsheet with user requirements. And I probably don't have any classes or methods right now because nothing's been written, but I would at least start my traceability matrix by making an Excel sheet and putting my requirements down there. And then I might start to think initially, if let's say I'm the programming team lead, like you saw me do with the Pokemon game, what classes, what methods? Methods have what parametric signature input and what return type are they giving back? And how is the calling method going to be consuming that return type? That's all stuff I'm thinking about right now. So, okay, well, let's pick this up. So design the trace ability matrix. I can never manage to spell that word right, can I? And then tractability, no, traceability. Traceability matrix. And so on and so forth. So you put on all the other stuff here, that's your job to do now. And then here, you see I can move stuff around. See, here's one of the things. Designing how you're depending on how you choose to do things, you can move these cards between swim lanes. So what I want you to do for learning activity 1, so let me give you your instructions for learning activity 1. Probably should have started this a bit sooner because I'm running out of time. Guys, let's do the following. Right now, I'm just going to give you the instruction on learning activity 5, and you can hand it in by tomorrow. And tomorrow I will show you how to do the assignment 2, and it will even take a little bit of time in class and get it to me by October the 1st, right? So I'll set it up so it doesn't take you longer than well, actually, no, because I wanted to get you to do it for testing as well. Okay, let's do it this way. After the class, I will send you out your instructions for your assignment 2, and they'll be pretty straightforward. You can send me an email if you have questions about it as well. But let me at least get to the point where we can close off our learning activity here. So You've signed up for Trello, you've made a board, start adding cards. So all I'm going to say for learning activity is implement a simple board, create swim lanes for each of the major categories. Oh, I have a question or something or a comment. Sir, please upload the pointers. Yes, not a problem. Mary, I'm going to give it to you right now just because I don't want to forget it. Hang on, because that's really important. So your test pointers document is right here. Guys, we might go like a couple of minutes after 12, but it's okay because I say so. I say it is. And if I say it is, I'm the ruler, I think. Such a good feeling of power. Okay, Mary, hang on. So Mary, here's your thing, and here's everybody's thing. So the whole directory and all of that stuff is important. You can get from here. So I'm just copy and paste this into like, I don't know, your Google Doc or something, wherever you're keeping stuff. So whole directory is here. Directory. And then the exact document with the specific pointers is right here. So that was 28th end of class review notes. That actually is the code word for test questions and answers. So copy Dropbox link. And here is, whoops, here's the exact document you want. Here is the review document. Just like, I don't know, copy. If you're free, just email me. I'll send it out to you later. All right, guys, give me like another 3 minutes and then I'll get us finished up here. So here's what I would like you to do right now. In fact, you can probably even do it. Just wait, hang around, like do it in 2 minutes after class. So I'm guessing everybody has created their Trello account and their Trello board. And I'm recording this on a video, and I'm going to kick out this video to you after the class if you need to see the procedures again. But you signed up for Trello, you made a board, you created some columns or swim lanes, you started making cards. Implement a simple board, create swim lanes for each of the major 5 segments of software testing lifecycle. And create at least a couple of cards in each swim lane. Describing based on our in-class lecture or discussion or the YouTube video you watched or anything else you can think about or your own imagination. Create at least 2 cards in each swim lane describing some of the kinds of activities you would do in that phase of the software testing lifecycle. And Mary and everybody else, this is going to be super good reinforcement. Going to be exactly the kind of questions I'm going to be asking you tomorrow. So create at least a couple of cards. All right, watch this video, or you can go to YouTube or lynda.com. Knowing Trello is a very good skill. Please put this in your resume and your LinkedIn. It's a skill they're using out there in business. Describing some of the kinds of activities we do in that phase of the testing life cycle. When you're done, take a screenshot of your Trello board. So you know how to take a screenshot of your web page with your Trello board. And copy and paste it into a Word document. And I'm not going to take time right now to send you out a Word document template. I will ask you to create the template by yourself. I'll say, see the next slide. For the template of things I'd like you to put at the top of that document. Word and in document. So learning activity 5, hand in template. Just the name of the activity, which is learning activity 5. Purpose, learn how to use Trello to implement the software testing lifecycle. Trello is an amazing tool. Once you get the hang of it, I guarantee you, I know, because I use it for everything, it's great. To implement the software testing lifecycle, and you're also reviewing your knowledge of that for test tomorrow as you're doing that. And then just give me name, student ID, the date you're handing it in, it's today's date probably, and class, number, section, class number and section. So whatever it is, I think you guys are G2 or something. So just copy and paste out of this. I will put up this PowerPoint right after the class ends. And get me learning activity 5. I would say just sit and spend 10 minutes doing it now. It's honestly not hard. And then later today, probably within 1 hour, I will post your instructions for assignment 2. Assignment 2, I'll tell you right now, it is just taking the same board and adding enough detail so that if I were to take your project plan, your board, and hire a tester off of, I don't know, one of these Elance websites or something, she could be able to follow those instructions and test your project, right? So this is learning activity, just basically screenshot of whatever you have in front of your screen right now. And the assignment is just fulfill it with as much level of detail based on everything we've covered in class as you possibly can.